My daughter looked at me and said, "Dad, what's wrong with your right eye?" I said, "Nothing." She said, "Yeah, but you're looking at me and it isn't." I said, "Uh-oh."
How many? 3?
When I was reading, well, I lost my place.
We should be on page 21.
They would read something in 10 minutes, and I would read it in 15, 20 minutes.
I was trying to present this facade of having it together when in reality, I felt that there was a hidden thing going on.
That hidden thing is something that causes smart people to feel.
Dumb, definitely.
Careers become compromises.
It changed a lot of things for me.
And even retirement becomes a rejection of lifelong dreams.
There you are, Caleb.
I had to see an enormous number of kids who had difficulty in school. One of the primary symptoms was that they were reversals, where they reversed letters. Read was as saw. It was obvious to me there was a visual problem at play here, but I couldn't find it. Kids were 20/20, they didn't need glasses. Glasses were not going to correct this type of problem. And I would do the examination and everything was fine. It just didn't make sense to me.
And so he went back to school to get a degree in psychology. It was true for Bill Nagel from Sinking Springs near Reading, Pennsylvania, who had difficulty reading for more than short periods of time.
Now, at the time I was doing it, I only used one eye, and that's what gave me problems.
He is not alone. Kathleen Sharp from Laureldale, Pennsylvania, just north of Reading, was also reading less and less.
I'd read something and, no, that didn't quite know what that said, and would reread. And so, of course, it took me so long that's why reading was not at all a pleasure for me.
Leaves two conflicting images.
Because the images are so dissimilar, it's impossible for the brain to fuse them into one image, to take the two images and make them into one. The most common response to that is that the brain suppresses one image, the least clear. Generally, it's the least clear image. It's completely suppressed. The brain pays no attention to that image.
I thought I was looking with both eyes, and I discovered I was only looking with one. I couldn't believe it could turn off while I'm sitting there like I'm looking at you. One eye would just simply shut down because it wasn't focusing.
Park section of Philadelphia, who thought her son had vision problems, but discovered she had worse.
The ophthalmologist at Will's Eye who saw my son said that I was really too old to have surgery, and he wouldn't have recommended vision therapy because he didn't think it would help.
But you did take it. Did it help?
Tremendously. Tremendously, yeah.
Typically, such therapy begins with a battery of tests to help diagnose the problem, and then a 6 to 9 month course of exercises to correct it. Such treatment costs approximately $2,500 and is covered by most medical insurance and utilizes instruments like this. Results.
When I read something, I know my both eyes are focusing on what I'm doing. I don't have a tendency to wander off. I don't get sleepy the way I used to.
I do it first, and I find that reading became much more pleasurable, and I enjoy reading.
A great joy to be able to read painlessly, as Deborah Jakubowicz is learning to do after her therapy, learning the wonder and excitement of a well-written story.
It finally worked with Rico on, and it went so fast. And he said, "Help, help!" And then the girl laughed and laughed.
And hopefully she'll live happily ever after, because
I don't think I'm a dumb kid, but I do think I'm a smart kid.
smart enough to be
A surgeon.
surgeons, pilots, athletes, drivers. In fact, every trade and profession has a different way of looking